All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be mixing up some feed for our birds. So before we get started doing the work, I want to kind of explain why we do things the way we do them here. So we feed Scratch and Peck Organic starter mash for the entirety of our birds' lives. There's a couple reasons for that. It's a little easier to digest. It's easier to ferment if you want to ferment it. But primarily, the number one reason we do that is because it's a 20.5% protein feed. Additionally, we add alfalfa pellets to our feed to bump that protein number up even higher. So, we're probably sitting somewhere around 26, 27% protein with the alfalfa pellets added to it. On top of that, our birds eat a lot of meat, primarily venison and fish. I do a lot of hunting and fishing. I'm very blessed to be able to do as much hunting and fishing as I get to do. And all of my carcasses and all of my, bone, everything all the refuse, everything that's left over after I harvest an animal, my birds eat. And they get that pretty much year round. I mean, deer season is obviously a season, but they get fish all the time. And then, a little bit of pork as well from wild pigs. So we push a lot of protein here for our birds. The reason for that is when we started doing this, we weren't having great luck. When I say we started doing this, when we started raising birds, our birds came to mature laying age. They were not producing nearly the amount of eggs that they should. So I started doing a little digging, and come to find out, many, many years ago, when the poultry industry was commercialized, they discovered that the bare minimum amount of protein needed to sustain life and produce eggs for these production breed chickens, which is not what we have here. We have more of a heritage breed of chicken. But for your Cornish cross production chicken, the bare minimum is 16.5%. Now, if you go into Tractor Supply or wherever and get adult chicken feed, whether it's a scratch or it's a pellet or whatever the case may be, 9 times out of 10, it's 16.5%. So we were feeding 16.5%. We were still using Scratch and Peck, but we were using their adult bird feed. Their layer mash is what that is called, their layer mash. And man, it just wasn't doing anything for us. So, like I said, I discovered that information, and we bumped our protein up, and all of a sudden, here come all these eggs. And our birds are healthier, they're happier, their coats are much, much prettier. Anyway, it just improved not only their production, but their quality of life. So, around that time, we also, while we were kind of digging around trying to figure out how to get the most out of our birds, we discovered adding herbs and spices to your feed. We add a lot of herbs and spices to our feeds. I'm not going to go over the entire list of what we use. It's about 17, 18 different things. But I'll just kind of show you here before we get started. This is what it looks like. It has a lot of good stuff in it, okay? We're talking turmeric, cayenne, red chili pepper, parsley, beetroot powder, cloves. All of these things that are in this mix promote a variety of different health factors for your birds. Our primary focus with this, though, was A, egg production, but B, parasite prevention and longevity in our birds. So for the cloves, for example, cloves are the antithesis of parasites. They can't stand them. So the cloves and then also the apple cider vinegar we put in our water when we water our birds every day really, really, really keeps our birds parasite free. We very, very rarely have, since we've started doing things the way we do them, have had a sick bird. And we don't do any medical intervention here, and we never will. So this is what we do in place of that. So we're taking a holistic approach kind of like apothecary for chickens, right? So we're leveraging the mechanisms that nature has in place to either treat or prevent disease and illness and parasites in our birds. Additionally, parsley, for example, is a big time egg producing herb. It encourages and helps the birds produce more eggs. And there's many more things. You can get on TikTok and just kind of search up herbs for chickens and learn a lot there, or you can hop on Google. And if you want a longer video with a breakdown of everything, all the herbs and all the benefits of each herb, I'd be more than happy to do that. But for the sake of this video and time, we're not going to get into every single one. But the gist of it is you can leverage those herbs and spices to increase egg production, keep your birds happy and healthy, and not have to rely on vaccines and medical interventions that you end up ingesting down the road. So, okay, here's how we do this. So, real easy. Now I've already mixed a little bit of this up because my ducks wouldn't be quiet. They were ready to eat, and I tried to record this video, and all you could hear was quack, quack, quack in the background. So I went ahead and mixed up a little bit and fed them. But I used 4 bags of the scratch and peck to 1 bag of the alfalfa pellets. I put two big scoops, two big scoops of the the starter mash, scoop of my alfalfa pellets. Then I take, this is a 2-cup measuring cup. I take 4 cups, 2 scoops of my herb mix. Throw that in there. Now I'm going to take 2 more scoops, and that's what's left in this bag is 2 more scoops. So I'm going to pour the rest of this out. And then I'm just going to mix it up real good. Now, I like to use this little hand scoop to mix. You don't have to, obviously you do it however is best for you. I do see a lot of people will use an auger, and I've done that in the past. The auger's great until you get to about right here with your feed, and then you start throwing it out the side. So, but that's certainly an option. There you go. Now it's mixed. You can take some of this, open it up here, and you can see there's little pieces of herbs, there's a piece of red chili flake right there, there's clove right there, there's fennel and fenugreek, and there's some fennel right there. Anyway, that's how we do it, and it works really well for us. But again, you know, this is just what we do. Feel free to do things the way that work for you. I highly encourage trial and error and experimenting. You don't want to do something just because someone else says it's the right thing to do. You certainly can try it because someone else says it's the right thing to do, but you need to know for sure that it works for you and your situation. So this is what we do, and it works really well for our birds. We have an embarrassing number of fowl here, actually. But anyway, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.